Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Gas South District's That's the Ticket, the ultimate podcast exploring all things Gas South District and a source for insights to events on campus and discussions on the wider entertainment and tourism industry. Please welcome the host of our show, Stan Hall, CEO of Gas South District and Explore Gwinnett.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Gas South District That's the Ticket podcast. We appreciate you taking some time to be with us this afternoon. I am so excited about our show today for several reasons. Our guest today is Kevin Greiner, President and CEO of Gas South. As you all may know, we are also partners with Gas South as the naming rights entity for our organization here at Gas South District. So today we're going to talk about Gas South and what a wonderful company they are, and also some of the connections between Gas South as the naming rights entity and the Gas South District. Kevin, welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you here with us today.
Well, thanks, Stan. It is my pleasure.
So, Kevin, I want to talk about Gas South, the company, before we get into anything else. So, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about the history of Gas South, how and when the company evolved, started, and then the very impressive progression and where you are now regarding your company.
Yeah, so we started, Stan, in 2006. We were a much smaller company back then. We had about 150,000 customers or so, largely, or all in Georgia at the time, and largely residential. And over the last 19 years or so, we've really grown, kind of become a full-service natural gas provider, serving retail customers, which are basically residential, commercial, industrial accounts all through not just Georgia, but Florida, the Carolinas, and Ohio and a few other markets. And also we're a energy trader. So we buy and sell natural gas on pipelines all across the eastern U.S. And that's a huge part of our business today as well. So we've got we started way back in 2006 with 40 of us, and we've grown to about 420 team members today and have really expanded our business. And I think our overall influence in the community. And, we're a very purpose-driven company. Our purpose is to be a fuel for good. And what that means for us is caring for our customers and our employees and elevating our industry and our communities. And so we operate with a very strong set of values as well, which are do what's right, own it, serve others, be better together, and keep growing. And so those are really the ways that we want to, operate, the things that we hold ourselves accountable for, that we hold each other accountable for. It's led to a really great company with a great esprit de corps and just a great group of people that are trying to pull together and, make a difference in this world.
That is fantastic. So you've already answered a little bit of my next question, but I thought that you had been with Gas South since they first started. So tell us a little bit about your involvement, how you came to Gas South, and sort of your journey leading up to the existence of the company as the CEO.
Yeah, well, I always say I'm the accidental CEO, and I really
that makes
mean
two
that
of us.
because I was the director of marketing for our predecessor company, and when we were sold, and the buyer, which is Cobb Electric Membership Corporation, we're owned by Cobb EMC and Electric Cooperative. They bought us. We rebranded as Gas South, and to my surprise, they said, "Would you like to be CEO?"
Wow.
And so I thought about it for about 14 seconds, and I said yes. But I was very honestly not qualified to run any kind of company at that point in my career. Fortunately, I had a number of executives who went with me and were much more experienced and were able to really launch the business with me. And they were very supportive and said, even though we realize we have more experience, we think you're the right person to lead it. So there were no, jealousies or anything like that. And I was just thankful that I had people that had done this more than I had in the past, that had more leadership experience, and were able to, really launch us as a company by working together. So that's kind of what our origin story is. And from there, we figured it out together. We figured out a way to serve our customers more effectively. We've done a number of acquisitions over the years. We've invested a lot in technology. We've insourced a lot of things that in the beginning of our business, we relied on others to do for us. And that's really made us a much more powerful company and one that can, do more good in the world. One of the things that also back about 10 years ago, we really, when we articulated our purpose of being a fuel for good, we decided to give back 5% of our profits to children in need.
Yep.
And that has been something that has really energized our team, where you feel like you're really doing good and you're doing things, bigger than just the company, and really trying to make our community stronger and help those that are less fortunate to get that, that first leg up on the ladder that, we call life. And so that's been a very big part of who we are as well.
That's amazing for the company really to only have one CEO since they started. You've been with them since the beginning.
That's right.
You grew up with them, and here you are today. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, and it's been fun. And we've had a lot of longevity from our other executives too. Our COO has been with the company since the beginning. Our CFO, our Chief Supply and Risk Officer. So a lot of the folks that are in the executive leadership team, we've been around this business for a while. We've worked together for a long, long time, and we really still enjoy it, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, and that speaks volumes relative to your success on all levels, that you do have that continuity with that leadership team as far as leading your company. So congratulations on that as well. So Kevin, you talked a little bit about you're an Atlanta-based company, but your footprint, as you said, goes well beyond that. Tell me a little bit where your services are provided.
Yeah, so we're the number one provider for natural gas in Georgia by market share, also in Florida, state of Florida, which is also a market where commercial and industrial customers can choose their natural gas provider. So we're very active in that market. And the Carolinas is also a big market for us, where we serve largely industrial customers. We have customers in the Gulf Coast, mostly like chemical plants and paper mills and those profile customers. And then we've got quite a few commercial customers as well up in the Midwest and Ohio in particular. So we've kind of, expanded from those original Georgia roots, and we are looking to continue to expand our footprint. We'll always be more focused, I think, in the South, hence our name, Gas South, but we always look for other opportunities where we feel like we can grow and most importantly, where we can, create value for our customers.
Yeah. Kevin, I'm old enough that when you think about gas, and based on conversation you and I've had before, you know that I know very little about the natural gas business, but I'm old enough to know that the gas product that I grew up with was more of the LP gas, where the people who didn't have particular service had the tanks in their backyard. Talk about that evolution, if you will, about the gas business and how it's come so far from that memory I have as a kid to now you're talking about vehicles are running with natural gas, all the things that have evolved and where you see that product going in the future.
Yeah, so natural gas is definitely a fuel of choice. I always say that there's nothing that does a better job of heating spaces, cooking food, or drying stuff. And it's also, of course, also used as an industrial manufacturing input for a lot of different products. And so, natural gas is kind of a foundational fuel. It's a backbone of our economy and for, our homes and businesses. And here in Georgia, we're very fortunate because the gas utility, Atlanta Gas Light, and we use Atlanta Gas Light's infrastructure to be able to serve our customers and to move the product. That's right. And they do a fantastic job. They've expanded the system. They've made it more resilient. They've made it more reliable. It's a very modern system. And, we don't see all that natural gas infrastructure. You might see it, on the meter in your house, but other than that, everything is buried underground, which is a real asset, right? Because you're storm resilient. You can count on the product all the time, and it's affordable, it's reliable, and it is sustainable because it is the cleanest burning fossil fuel that we have. So all those things, I think, stack up in favor of natural gas, and we've seen some pretty, pretty significant increases in demand over the years. And we're just very fortunate here in Georgia that we've had the foresight and the resources to be able to invest in the system the way we have. And so AGL is an incredible utility and a great partner to us. As a result, we work together to deliver a great customer experience, affordable energy that's there when you need it and can be relied on at all times.
So you said AGL is sort of the entity that provides the movement of the product. And is that true with all natural gas providers? Does AGL provide that for all of them? And how does that work really?
They do. So, yeah, if you think about it, there are parts of, we have a competitive market for natural gas in Georgia, meaning you get to choose who you want to do business with, and you get to choose a rate plan. But there are aspects of the natural gas business where it is really best controlled by one company, a monopoly, if you will. And when you think about the pipes part of the business and the process of the folks that drive around town and ensure that the meters are read and that the service is turned on and off. That should really be performed by one company, and that is performed very, very well by Atlanta Gas Light, by AGL, on behalf of all of the natural gas marketers like Gas South. So we don't end up having, a bunch of competing, infrastructure in the ground. We don't have lots of extra trucks on the road or anything else. We can rely on, Atlanta Gas Light to do those essential parts of the business. And then we can really compete as a gas marketer on the basis of price, service, convenience, brand reputation, all the things that you try to do to woo customers, but also to retain them.
Yeah, and you mentioned your background in marketing. I would assume that's a very big part of your organization now, as far as getting the name of Gas South and all the attributes you have relative to that product to those customers is vitally important, right?
It really is. And, we are what we call a low interest category. What we mean by that, Stan, is like people don't, sit around thinking about their natural gas like they might about, other products that they use on a
Probably
day in
not,
and day out basis.
Yeah.
We're a commodity too. Like our gas is not going to make your food taste any better, your space any warmer. So the main thing that we have to do is we have to do a better job of delivering value, service, and simplicity.
Right.
And so that's our mission. We talk about being the energy provider of choice through exceptional value, service, and simplicity.
Right.
And that's what we strive for day in and day out. And having a great brand that is recognized as a company that got a good reputation, that would be a good one to do business with, and that can differentiate on some of those aspects that I mentioned, as well as giving back to the community, which is a huge part of what we do, and I think sets us apart from some of the others. Is that commitment to giving back 5% of profits to children in need?
Absolutely.
Is an additional piece that I hope leads at least some customers to say, Gas South's the one that I want to do business with.
Yeah, exactly. So, Kevin, we talked about evolving as far as the company goes, but you and I have had some conversation in the past, and most of these conversations can be directly related to the whole COVID experience that we all had. And I'm talking about, in this case, staffing. Staffing has turned into be a challenge for so many different reasons, but you just moved into a new office space and made a change of that traditional office. And I think you told me that some of that related to the staff and how staff perceives the workplace. Talk about where you were, where you are, and sort of that mindset that moved you into another location.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the pandemic really changed everything.
Everything.
So prior to the pandemic, we were pretty much in the office 5 days a week. Once in a while, we'd give somebody, an extra day to, spend at home. We all went home for a couple of years, and we came back, and people said, well, I kind of like that extra flexibility. And we've continued to accommodate that. So we are back, in the office, but we're not in, on a 5-day-a-week basis any longer.
Yeah.
We're hybrid. And, we wanted to ensure that we had a workspace where people wanted to come as opposed to where they felt they had to come.
Yes.
Because I really think that coming out of the pandemic, one of the long-standing effects of it is that people realized, I don't really want to be told what to do anymore. I want to have
100%.
more autonomy, more flexibility in my life. And so our new offices, which are over at the Battery, Atlanta.
Beautiful spot.
It is, right near Truist Park.
Yep.
We're really happy to be in there. We were able to design a floor from scratch, really design it with this new hybrid way of working in mind. And so it's built with lots of great technology, so you can have your conference video calls in a very effective way. We've got creative meeting spaces that are really meant to inspire. And I always say that the office should really be about creativity, collaboration, community building. That's what we were really focused on as we looked at how do we create that space that is going to be able to meet all of those objectives. And I'm really happy with it. Our team is really happy with it. And we do have a great culture at Gas South and continue to have a very, very high level of engagement among our team members, and wanted to make sure that the office space really supports that.
So you downsized in probably square footage for really what now is the betterment of a smaller space.
And one of the things that's different too, Stan, is we did not go with a one-size-fits-all sort of mandate, because we have a very high diversity of work that is done at Gas South. We have folks that are frontline speaking to customers day in and day out, and we have data scientists and analysts and traders and marketing people and sales people and finance people. It's everything in between, right? we decided that really the way to go about our office was to ensure that folks had that flexibility and that we took those differences into account. And so some folks are in a lot. Other folks, like our customer care folks, come in very rarely because they can do their work really, really well from home with a headset on. As long as they got a quiet place and a good internet connection, they can do it. So whereas a project manager that's really working with people across the organization, they need to be in the office much more often. So that's how we've kind of, approached the post-pandemic world of work, and I think it's worked out really well for us.
It sounds interesting. I know you just had your grand opening over there. Unfortunately, I missed, but I can't wait to see it. But some of our staff went to visit you during the grand opening. They came back at this like, wow, that's something special. So again, congratulations on that as well. So Kevin, let's talk about something that's exciting to me for so many different reasons, and that's the partnership between Gas South and Gas South District. Share with our listeners a little bit how that relationship came to exist, if you would, please.
Yeah, it's and that one too, Stan, I would say was sort of an accidental sort of thing that happened. But what happened was we acquired a company, a really amazing company called Infinite Energy, based in Gainesville, Florida, that had the naming rights for this wonderful complex.
Thank you.
And we rebranded as Gas South District with your team being fully supportive of launching that. It was really cool because it was something that we could do during the pandemic when everything was pretty closed anyway, and really spent about a year working together to relaunch this amazing space. And of course, you all had major renovations and major construction program happening at the same time. So it was almost like a perfect grand reopening.
100% it was.
And in 2021, suddenly here we are with this amazing facility called Gas South District with the Gas South Convention Center, Gas South Arena, and Gas South Theater.
Right.
All being part of what's happening here. And the hardscaping, landscaping work that you guys have done, the new Westin Hotel that's outside these doors, it really has become a beautiful place. I mean, and congratulations on just some terrific placemaking in Gwinnett County. I mean, this is I think is the jewel of places in Gwinnett.
We do too, thank you.
Yeah, and we're just so happy to be part of it. So I always say, we did not acquire Infinite to be able to get our name on Gas South District, but it was an awfully nice outcome of what happened.
And I understand the history of it, and again, so excited about it. But this area, as you know, we refer to as downtown Gwinnett. And for your company and for our campus to have downtown Gwinnett be known as the Gas South District is so advantageous for both of us. And again, I know it wasn't planned, but it sure has turned out to be a great relationship. How has the relationship with Gas South having the naming rights for this campus, how has that increased the exposure of your company?
Well, I will tell you that name recognition, brand recognition of Gas South in Gwinnett County has gone up tremendously. It's led to more customers choosing us. It's led to more community partnerships that we've been able to forge here, such as Junior Achievement up in Gwinnett County and your Discovery Center here. It has led to a deeper partnership with Gwinnett County Schools as well. And all of those things have worked to really raise our profile in Gwinnett. And honestly, prior to this becoming Gas South District, we were a little less known here in Gwinnett. So I attribute a lot of the lift that we've had in terms of market share and in terms of name recognition to our sponsorship and our partnership here at Gas South District. It is the one thing that has really moved the needle for us.
Well, that's great news to hear. And the sort of the running joke that I've always had with you since we changed the name is that I do get an occasional call wanting to complain about the cost of their natural gas. And I'll say, I think I might want to forward that call to one other person who knows a little bit more.
Absolutely.
But I would only tell you that our team here at Gas South District is equally excited about working with your team. I've been through many of those meetings before when those various partners on both sides, whether it's marketing or whatever it might be, they have from day one worked together in a seamless manner, in a cooperative manner, and they still, as you know, those two teams still get together all the time talking about co-branding, whatever it might be. So it is a great, great opportunity for us, and we're glad to have you as our naming rights partner for sure.
And we really do try to do our part with that too. We are pushing out events that are coming to Gas South District to our customers. We do sweepstakes for tickets on a very regular basis. We have a very active social media team that is partnering with Gas South District on various promotional type of activities, letting folks know what's coming to Gas South District, the concerts, the sporting events that you have. Gold Over America, which I know is going to be a huge event here in October with Simone Biles and the gymnastics team. So I think these are the types of partnerships that we really try to forge. We want to make these experiences available to our customers. And for us, that really helps with acquisition, it helps with retention, it helps with customer satisfaction and their overall experience having us as their natural gas provider. So these are the sorts of things that we could only do with a partnership like this one.
Yeah, again, speaking of evolution, I think that the whole naming rights concept really has made a remarkable pathway from sporting venues or public assembly venues, whatever it might be, originally would carry a very generic name of whatever that might be. There's hardly none in the country left that aren't attached with a naming rights partner right now. So the advantages that you've shared with us today, I think that's sort of the growing trend. Every new building that is not even under construction yet, but is being planned, there's already a naming rights partner attached to that on day one to get it up and going. So we're glad to have you here for sure.
Yeah, and I think what the Battery has done in terms of entertainment-oriented real estate development, and what you're now doing here at Gas South District in terms of creating a true live, work, play community. These assets end up being the catalyst that drives folks wanting to be here more, to live here, to work here, to play here. So I look forward to how this place continues to prosper and continues to evolve over time.
Yeah, so do we, and thank you for that comment. I want to mention one thing that you mentioned briefly. Gas South, the company, is definitely involved with the Gwinnett County Public School System as far as that giving back that you alluded to earlier. The Gwinnett County Public Schools is one of the largest school systems in the entire country. So when you came on to make that connection with them, I thought was such a smart thing to do and such a valuable asset for the kids that go to school here in Gwinnett. Tell us a little bit about that program you're involved with there.
So one of the things that we're very interested in doing is introducing young people to careers in energy, and especially young people who have been historically underrepresented in our industry.
Right.
Looking at career pathways for youth to understand the business of natural gas, the business of renewable energy, which we are also involved in at Gas South. Seeing careers where you can make a living in a really interesting, dynamic, fast-moving, very challenging industry is really, really something that we try to prioritize. And our partnership with Gwinnett Schools allows us to do a lot of that. So we're trying to give the youth more exposure to solar energy, for example, how it works, its future potential, how solar energy even pairs with natural gas, because they really rely on each other, because natural gas can be used to generate the electricity when you don't have the sun shining as strongly as you otherwise would have, or at night. And then solar energy, of course, can pick up that energy production during those sunny days. And so the ability of these two things to really work together is very compelling. And so some people may ask, well, why would a natural gas provider be in the solar business? The reality is the energy systems are complicated, and we need lots of different fuel and lots of different ways to generate electricity. And solar and natural gas pair very well together.
Right.
And so helping kids to understand how that works and what the various career pathways are in these various energy segments is a really nice way to show kids that there can be a real interesting career in our space.
Absolutely. So I serve on the Gwinnett County Public Schools Foundation. I would never speak for them, but I can only tell you in meetings, there has been so many conversations of appreciation toward Gas South and the contributions they've made to our school system. So again, not speaking for them, but I think I can tell you thank you on their behalf. As far as that
thank
goes
you.
Too.
It's nice to hear.
So Kevin, we're running out of time, but I want to finish up with, I usually don't get into personal business, but I know you're a musician as well. So talk a little bit about how your fandom, if you will, as a musician Do you get a chance to come see some of the concerts at Gas South District based on your personal interest and your professional interest?
I do, and you're generous by calling me a musician. I do play keyboards, but I would say that I'm definitely keeping my day job, and that's a good thing.
That's a good
thing. But at Gas South, historically, we have had a band called the Decatherms, and so we will play the company parties and things like that. So it's a lot of fun, but I love coming out and seeing shows, and so I've been out here for Eric Clapton, for James Taylor, for Greta Van Fleet, and many other concerts over the years. And this place has amazing sound, great sight lines. It is really a beautiful venue. The nice thing about it is it's more intimate than a very, very large arena. We have about 13,000 seats, but you are big enough that you attract big acts. So you're getting to see a big, well-known act in a relatively small venue that has great acoustics and great sight lines. So, and is very easy to get in and out of. So I love coming to this place. It's one of my favorite spots to see a show. And I'm always watching the calendar, Stan, to see what's coming next.
That's right.
So that I can get out here with my wife and friends.
So I'll share one thing with you, but I want to allow you to ask any questions back on it. But I, too, am a musician. No longer playing in a band, but I played in a band. Again, you can't ask any questions. The name of our band was Uncut Funk.
All right. I love it.
So we both have a musical interest. But anyway. So, Kevin, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate your time. You and your staff, please know how much we appreciate the partnership, and it's an absolute pleasure doing business with you.
Well, the feeling is mutual, Stan. I've really enjoyed getting to know you and the rest of the team here, and let's continue to do some great things together.
Absolutely, we will. Thank you. That's all the time we have today. Be sure to check out GasSouthDistrict.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. You can find all episodes of Gas South District, That's the Ticket, wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks again for joining us today. We'll return soon for another episode of That's the Ticket. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us today, and we hope you enjoyed the episode. For show notes and further information about Gas South District and upcoming events, please visit our website at GasSouthDistrict.com. That's the Ticket.